Imagine a civilization older than the pyramids of Egypt, larger than ancient Mesopotamia, and yet, for thousands of years, completely erased from history, buried under the sands of South Asia. This isn't a fantasy novel. This is the true story of the Indus Valley Civilization, one of humanity's greatest and most enigmatic ancient mysteries. Our story begins just over a century ago in 1921. British archaeologists Sir John Marshall and Daya Ramsani were digging through dusty mounds in a place called Harappa, in what is now Pakistan. They weren't looking for a lost world, they were just doing their job. But what they found would rewrite the history books. They unearthed the ruins of a city so ancient, so meticulously planned, and built with perfectly uniform baked bricks that it defied all expectations. Just a year later, in 1922, the mystery deepened. Another archaeologist, R.D. Banerjee, discovered a second site hundreds of miles away, at a place called Mohenjo-Daro, the Mound of the Dead, near the mighty Indus River. The world was stunned. Here was another city just as advanced, with streets laid out in a perfect grid, multi-story homes, and something truly astonishing: complex underground drainage systems, and even public baths. These were features that many parts of the world wouldn't see again for millennia. Together, Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro proved the existence of a sophisticated civilization that flourished between 2600 and 1900 BCE. They weren't a primitive tribe. They were a contemporary power alongside the great pharaohs of Egypt and the kings of Mesopotamia. And they were massive. The Indus Valley Civilization spanned an incredible 1.25 million square kilometers, stretching from modern-day northeast Afghanistan all the way to western India. To date, archaeologists have found over 1,000 settlements. The big names you hear are Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, but there are other major cities like Lothal, Dholavira, Kalibangan, and Rakhigarhi, each adding another piece to this giant puzzle. These cities were true marvels of urban planning. Imagine walking down streets that were perfectly straight, intersecting at precise right angles. You'd see houses with their own bathrooms and private wells, connected to a citywide sewer system that carried waste away. This level of sanitation and civic planning was simply unheard of for its time. At Mohenjo-Daro, archaeologists uncovered the famous Great Bath. This wasn't just a pond, it was a massive watertight pool, expertly constructed with bricks and sealed with natural bitumen. Scholars believe it was likely used for important ritual purifications, a central part of their spiritual life. It speaks to a society that valued not just function, but also community and ritual. But here's what's really strange. For all their incredible organization, these cities seem to be missing something. There are no grand palaces, no towering temples dedicated to all-powerful kings or gods. This has led to a fascinating theory, that the Indus Valley might have been a remarkably egalitarian society. Perhaps they were governed not by absolute monarchs, but by councils of merchants, priests, or local assemblies. A civilization without kings. Their craftsmanship was just as impressive. Pottery, beautiful ornaments, and intricate seals were all standardized across this vast empire. You could find a weight made in one city that was identical to another, made hundreds of miles away. This points to a highly organized system of production, a sophisticated trade network, and some form of centralized control, ensuring quality and consistency. The people of the Indus Valley were masters of their environment. They were skilled farmers who cultivated wheat, barley, sesame, and most importantly, cotton. In fact, they are credited as the first people in human history to weave cotton into cloth. They were pioneers of fashion 5,000 years ago, and they weren't isolated. Their trade routes were vast, connecting them to the wider world. Mesopotamian clay tablets, from modern-day Iraq, speak of trading with a distant, prosperous land called Meluha. Most scholars agree that Meluha was the Indus Valley, and the proof is undeniable. Archaeologists have found Indus seals and beads in the ancient Mesopotamian cities of Ur and Sumer. How did they conduct this long-distance trade? At the coastal city of Lothal in India's Gujarat state, we find the answer. Excavations there revealed what is believed to be one of the world's earliest known man-made dockyards, a massive basin connected to an ancient river channel. This proves they were not just land-based traders. They were skilled seafarers, mastering the currents of the Arabian Sea. To manage this complex economy, they developed a system of standardized weights and measures. These perfectly cubed weights, usually made of a hard stone called chert, are found everywhere. They demonstrate an advanced understanding of mathematics and a need for absolute precision in commerce. But for all we know about their cities, their trade, and their technology, the greatest mystery of all remains completely unsolved: their language. The Indus people left behind thousands of artifacts, mostly small, square seals, intricately carved with images of animals like bulls, elephants, and rhinos, and even mythical unicorns. Above these images are short lines of elegant symbols. This is the Indus script, and for over 100 years, despite the best efforts of the world's brightest minds, no one has been able to read it. Is it related to an early Dravidian language, spoken today in southern India? Is it a form of ancient Sanskrit? Or is it a language isolate, with no known relatives? Hundreds of theories have been proposed, but without a Rosetta Stone to unlock its meaning, the script remains silent. Their laws, their literature, their beliefs, their names, all of it is locked away. It is one of the greatest linguistic puzzles in history. Then, around 1900 BCE, this vibrant civilization began to fade. The once bustling streets of Mohenjo-Daro started filling with debris. The complex trade routes that brought them wealth slowly dissolved. The great cities were gradually abandoned, left to the wind and the sand. What caused such a catastrophic collapse? For decades, the leading theory was an invasion by so-called Aryan tribes. But modern archaeology has found little evidence of widespread warfare or destruction. Instead, the clues point to a more powerful and relentless enemy: nature itself. Climate change seems to be the main culprit. Monsoon patterns shifted, leading to prolonged droughts. The Saraswati River, a mythical river mentioned in ancient Indian texts and believed to have been a lifeline for many Indus settlements, began to dry up. Recent geological studies confirm this, showing that massive tectonic movements may have actually rerouted the region's rivers, cutting off the water supply and destroying the agricultural heartland. Without water, the cities simply couldn't survive. By 1300 BCE, the Indus Valley Civilization had vanished. Its cities were buried, its language was forgotten, and its people were absorbed into new cultures that were emerging across northern India. An entire chapter of human history was lost. The Indus Valley Civilization left behind no glorious tales of conquest, no names of mighty kings, no epic monuments to war. Yet their legacy is perhaps even more profound. It is a testament to human ingenuity, planning, and peaceful cooperation. They built clean, organized cities when most of the world lived in chaos. They pioneered global trade. Their social systems appear to have been uniquely equitable, and yet their story faded into dust, waiting silently for nearly 4,000 years until a few curious archaeologists brought it back into the light. The Indus Valley reminds us that greatness doesn't always roar through history with the clash of swords. Sometimes it whispers quietly through the humble artifacts left behind, through baked bricks, underground drains, and unread seals, waiting for us to listen. This was the Indus Valley Civilization, the forgotten giant of the ancient world. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this exploration into one of history's greatest mysteries, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to our channel for more stories from our incredible past. We'll see you in the next one.